hymnals, number 1024. And please rise as you're willing and able. We are going to see three verses. It's going to be do, sing, then laugh. Okay, 3 verses. Everybody, if you're willing and able, come on up. You've got to do what the Spirit says do. You've got to do what the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you've got to do. Oh Lord, you've got to do what the Spirit says do. 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 You've got to sing when the Spirit says sing. You've got to sing when the Spirit says sing. When the Spirit says sing, you've got to sing. Oh Lord, you've got to sing when the Spirit says sing. 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 You've got to laugh when the Spirit says laugh. You've got to laugh when the Spirit says laugh. You've got to laugh and laugh. You've got to laugh, oh Lord. You've got to laugh when the Spirit says laugh. 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 All right.
And so good. We are adjusting to our current reality, right? Our theme today is improv, and it's definitely an experience in creating a plan and being willing to deviate, right? Can't get too stuck or rigid about what your plan was. So our opening words are called Embracing the Unexpected, ironically, by Krista Flanagan. What if everything always went according to plan? At first, we might accomplish more of what we think we need to accomplish, and it may seem less stressful at first, being able to anticipate what happens next, but after a certain amount of time, and that amount would vary person to person, and some of you are experiencing that right now, the once comfortable predictability would become less comfortable and, well, boring. If we always know what happens next, we lose the joy of surprise, serendipitous experiences, and the excitement that comes from anticipating the unknown. Friends, let us gather with open, curious hearts, ready to explore the totally unpredictable, learn from its wisdom, and embrace its beauty. In the spirit of embracing the unexpected, our younger congregants, led by our RE coordinator, Corey Cortez, are going to teach us their affirmation statement that they use in their gatherings. And we are so excited to have them here with us. So go ahead, Corey, we can teach.
All right, can I have my RE youth stand up? And we're gonna say our opening words that we say when we're all together.
You just stand where you are.
Yep, just stand where you are. My RE youth, you don't need to, yep. My RE youth.
Just the kids.
Come on, just stand up. You know what, that's fine, you're good. Just say it with me, all right? So we are Unitarian Universalists with minds that think, hearts that love, and hands that help. or hands that are ready to serve. We kind of go back and forth with that one, so. All right, thank you.
We bid you welcome. We do not ask that you believe or expect you to think a certain way, but only that you try to live a kindly, helpful life with the dignity proper to a human being. Welcome all who believe that religion is wider than any sect and deeper than any set of opinions. Welcome all who might find in our friendship strength and encouragement for daily living. Good morning and welcome to the Universalist Unitarian Church of Farmington. If you're a first-time visitor here, we usually have lights and it's usually a little bit cooler, but thank you for joining us. Thank you for spending your Sunday morning with us, and whether enjoying the service in person or watching online, which might not be happening, I'm not sure. My name is Linda Brown. I became a member of the church many years ago for one of the reasons that many others have become members, that we wanted our children to be exposed to a broader way of thinking and being in the world. I'd like to extend that special welcome to any of the visitors today. After the service, we invite you to stay. I don't think we're going to have coffee, but we can have conversations. If it's too hot and dark downstairs, we can have them at the back of the church or outside. I will say, this is kind of an announcement, but we will be having an abbreviated period of time after the service because there is going to be a memorial service here for a longtime member, Virginia Slotnick, that starts at noon after this service. This morning we are delighted that our younger congregants are joining us for this multi-generational service. Thanks. And I know that we're going to see more of them soon. This is a time for us to be together in ritual and song, moving our bodies and celebrating the joys of our diverse community. Joys and sorrows will be shared later in the service. You can come to the microphone, which our tech folks have at least given us power for this. Thank you. And you can come to the microphone or text the number. Well, no, that's not going to work either, because the number is out of service at the moment. You can come to the microphone, or if you need somebody to bring the mic to you, I can do that. Please take a moment now to silence your phones, but don't turn them off. You are encouraged to share on social media that you are attending today's service, but do please put them on silent. If you will, please join me in stating our mission, which can be found on the second page of the order of service. We seek answers everywhere, include everyone, live with compassion. Are there any announcements today?
You can hear me. Okay, so just Virginia's family, we don't need to have an abbreviated coffee hour. They said we can have, we can continue to socialize as long as we want, and we're welcome to attend the service. So that's all.
Okay. I don't know why she put it up. Good morning, Marie Laurie. With Save the World today, I have two announcements. I'll try to make them very brief. The first one is the second event. So 2 weeks from today at 7 p.m. in Adams Hall, we will be meeting to watch I Am Not Your Negro. It's really good to watch a hard movie with other people who care, so I hope you'll join us. The movie, one description of it, I think the best description I've read about it, says it's a survey of how the civil rights movement and America's failure to wholly embrace it are still highly relevant and continue to shape our current lives. So again, I Am Not Your Negro on July 16th at 7 p.m. in Adams Hall. Please join us. There are always snacks and drinks and good discussion. The other one is next Sunday, the 9th, right after church. We'll be in Adams Hall again through coffee hour and as long as our hands hold up. If you wrote letters with us in the fall for Vote Forward and did really effective work, this is another chance to work with them. In August, Ohio is having a referendum. The referendum is in response to, I'm going to back up, sorry. Ohio is currently gathering petition signatures to do what we did last year for reproductive rights. They are trying to get that on the ballot to enshrine it in their constitution. In response to that, the gerrymandered Ohio Senate, House, Congress has put a special ballot initiative in August on their agenda, requiring any citizen-led ballot to get 60% of the vote to pass. This is undemocratic. It's dangerous not just for our neighbors in Ohio. They have stated that the two goals, they've stated out loud in public, the two goals of doing this are to, 1, quash reproductive rights, and 2, quash voting rights. This affects our neighbors. It also affects us. Friendly reminder, we have 13 seats in the House of Representatives. The U.S. House of Representatives in Ohio has 15. It matters. So we'll be writing letters again. It's very easy. They give you a template. You fill in a couple lines about why voting is important to you. And we're actually specifically targeting with this one young women in Ohio. They have a lot to lose. So please join us next week after coffee hour, or during coffee hour. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jamie. I am a newly elected member of the board. I am the board secretary now. But I have something for you. On July 20th, the City of Farmington Hills, in association with the Emergency Preparedness Commission and the American Heart Association, is holding a CPR, AED, and Stop the Bleed tourniquet training. If you're over 12, it's only $10 for residents. Now, because the church is in part of Farmington Hills, you can sign up with the church and pay only the $10 if you want to learn CPR and all those other things. You must be over 12 years old. And if you would like to do this, it's July 20th, 5:30 p.m. If you want to do this, come see me before you leave today. Let me know. You don't have to pay me today, but you have to let me know today because we're going to put it all, the registration information in next week, I believe. The staff is already going to be trained on CPR and everything else. So if you would like to join them, let me know.
And I have one more announcement. Excuse me, our President Liz Knight found a fun event that she let us know about this past week. The Farmington Community Library is sponsoring something called Chapters for Charity. And the basic structure is that teams of 5, up to 5 are formed, and you register with the library. It's a $5 fee per person. And there are a list of 5 books that the library has chosen that you read. And then in August, on the 18th, there's a trivia tournament. And the library will donate all of the fees that have been paid for registration to the charity of the winning team's choice. Now, we already have one team that's been formed. We're working on our second. So if you're interested, for sure see me, because I'm putting together the second team. But we can put as many teams out there as we want. The only limit is that they only take a certain number of teams. So the sooner we form them, the better, and get them registered. Just imagine all of us out there in our blue T-shirts, just crushing it at the tournament and benefiting charity. So see me or see Tom Bjorklund in the back. Linda, one more? Yes.
In the spirit of embracing the unexpected, I met this gentleman, Dante, in the parking lot this morning. He wants to make a brief announcement. Okay, come on. No, come to the microphone.
I'm a Toastmaster, so I know how to do it. Okay. My name is Dante, and I live very close from here, and I didn't mean to turn in this parking lot. But she's so friendly, and she's like, it's a church, and it's only an hour, and I'm like, why not? So I came in. But I'm like, I got somebody else's car. He needs it to go to work, but I live right here. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to come. If it's okay with y'all, like, I'm going through so much, and my mom's like, you need God. She keeps blaming it on God. But I got a very good relationship with God, and it's not God. I keep trying to tell her that. But then it might be God, because I end up pulling it here by accident. So if it's okay, I want to come back. Like, you guys do a lot of activities. I am not at your Negro, whatever movie, I want to come. like the fundraiser, like I'll pay my membership dues, like how much is it? If it's okay, she said make it brief, so I'm gonna leave, but I'm gonna have my mom drop me back off, and I'm gonna stay and sign up and all that stuff. Thank you.
We have another Dante in the congregation. He's your namesake.
So thank you for all of the updates, and welcome to the second Dante here. And please check the UUCF website and or our emails and e-blasts for announcements and other upcoming events. Now, if you will, again, please rise as you're willing and able for our hymn from the Gray Hymnals, number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In, and we're going to sing all the verses. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Open your ears to the song. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Hello. Good morning. I am Corey Cortez. For those of you that don't know me, I am the RE or Religious Education Coordinator here. And today we are learning about lessons of improv. And it started out before the service even started. Without the power, we had to learn how to improv. So here we go. The first rule to improv is yes and. That means that we always agree to what our scene partner creates. So once we have done that, we can use the and to build on from. So if we're improving, and I say, "Hey, Grandma, I love your purple hair." And you say, "I'm not your grandma, and I don't have purple hair." That stops the conversation and the scene right there. Now, if I say, "Thanks, darling, I just got it done at this here beauty shop," then we're going somewhere. We have something to build on. Another important rule is gift giving. So instead of asking questions like, "Hey, who are you? And where are we? What are you doing here?" You give your scene partner a gift by saying, "Hey, Grandma," telling your partner who they are. "I love your purple hair," giving your scene partner a topic. Then your partner can give a gift back by saying something like, "Thanks, darling," which is the yes, the agreement. "Yes, I am your grandma. And I just got it done here in this beauty shop," giving a location. So at this point, the scene partners can decide how the scene ends. Now, I had this script written and was going to print it out this morning, but unfortunately, I cannot. So I have to improv a little bit and consult my improv teacher, Miss Kelly Bochek-Petrie here. And I have to remind myself of what the other important rule is for improv. And she's not sure either. That's why I tried to do this before, but we weren't able to. The gift giving and
That's just the gift giving and the.
there was something else, but that's okay.
They can work together to end the scene.
Oh yes.
So the examples would be.
So
Into the mic. You're speaking.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, other mic.
Come in. I'm gonna come. Bring her up here.
There's the other mic.
Other mic.
Oh, we like to share. We're sisters.
okay.
The scene. So the scene with Grandma in the beauty shop. They could decide then where to go from there. So we have the who, the relationship, Grandma and grandchild. And the what could be the purple hair, right? And the location is the beauty shop. Now they can then take that what and decide how to end it, right? So what else could we say about the purple hair? Grandma, here at this beauty shop, wow, I want to get my hair done just like that. And then, Grandma could say, well, great. Sally has a chair open right here. Let's go, right? And scene. And that's it, yes. Or it could be, you're the coolest grandma in the world. I'm going to put you on the Insta. And scene, right? So the introduction of the what was the purple hair, and then we're just going to end it with some sort of conclusion to add on to the what. It could also be a problem, Grandma, we're out of toilet paper, Yes. No problem, we'll go to the store.
So the gift giving, thank you. The gift giving takes pressure off of your scene partner. Instead of asking questions like, who are you? What are we doing here? That will put pressure on your scene partner to come up with all of those things. So if you give gifts back and forth, then you can build your scene and figure out how to end it, okay? So we are going to do a little improv today. And for sake of time, I asked some volunteers ahead of time to go ahead and come up. So Everett, Jude, and Brian, can you come up? I did not give them any lines. I just asked for volunteers, and they were so gracious to help with this. So you got your mic here.
Hey, grandkids.
Okay, so wait, hold on real quick before we start. Yes. So
Starting.
No, you're great. You're doing great. Just let them know what they're going to do.
Oh, I already did.
Oh, you did? Okay, great. So Brian is going to give us the who of the scene, and Everett's going to give us the location, right? And Jude's going to give us the what, the scenario. Okay? Ready?
Hey, grandkids. What are you doing now that you're out of school?
Do you want?
Let's actually
I'll do it.
let's go back and take
I'll do it. So, wait, did you say at the end of school?
Now that school's over, what are you doing for a vacation in the summertime?
Well, we're gonna go down a pool slide with my friends at school.
Where are you at? Just say where you're at.
We're
Where?
having this conversation here at a Pizza Hut
OMG, I can't believe we're in Paris.
I love it. I love it.
Parlez-vous français?
Now, Jude, do you have anything to add to the situation where you're at? In Paris?
Oh no, we were supposed to go into Florida, not Paris.
I thought we were in Paris, Indiana.
No, we're in Paris, France. And not in Florida either.
Let's go see the Eiffel Tower.
And scene.
Good job.
Very good, very good. Thank
Good
you
job.
all so much. So I want to wrap this up. What does improv have to do with life lessons? I want to use this quote by the incredibly talented Tina Fey. Obviously, in real life, you're not always going to agree with everything everyone says. But the rule of agreement, the yes, reminds you to respect what your partner has created and to at least start from an open-minded place. Start with a yes and see where it takes you.
Thank you, Christina, and especially because she is also kind of improving along because of without the lights over there that we were expecting, we are all adjusting. So another way that we are doing slightly something different that was actually planned is instead of me doing a reading, that 24 quotes have been passed out among you all about improv. So I understand that this mic is working. If people would come and line up and speak into the mic your quote, then so that everybody can hear you, then I would appreciate it. Read the quote and say the name of the person. And if you can't read their name, then that's fine. But give it your best try. This is multi-generational involvement. There are younger people here who also have some quotes. So we can line up on both sides, but just make sure you speak out to everybody. So come on up, Joan.
Mine is very appropriate for what we're doing. No one looks stupid when they're having fun, and that's from Amy Poehler.
Come on, I was just moving.
You're only given one little spark of madness. Darn. You mustn't lose it, Robin Williams.
Let's come over from this side. Come on over.
Improv groups get stale when the members stop surprising each other. Greg Triggs.
The world is a slightly better place for having improvisation in it than it was before. There's something about it that says something positive about the human spirit, that a bunch of people can get together and by following a few simple traffic rules can create art and can entertain an audience and can thrill and exalt each other. By Del Close.
Fun is always on the other side of yes.
With improv, it's a combination of listening and not trying to be funny.
Those who have learned to collaborate and improvise have prevailed. By Charles Darwin.
Enjoy things even when you're screwing up. Keith Johnstone.
The key is to use something that is a mystery to you and then follow it, and let it reveal itself without too much concern for solving that mystery. Rob Schiffman.
The rules of improvisation apply beautifully to life. Never say no. You have to be interested to be interesting, and your job is to support your partners, Scott added.
If you're in your head, then you're not here with me. Susan Messing.
Improvisation is the art of being completely okay with not knowing what you're doing. Mick Napier.
The thing about improvisation is that it's not about what you say, it's listening to what other people say. It's about what you hear. Paul Merton.
Bad improvisers block action, often with a high degree of skill. Good improvisers develop action. Malcolm Gladwell.
80% of improv is owning the stage. Jason Mantzoukas.
Just say yes, and you'll figure it out afterwards. Tina Fey.
Behave honestly and act honestly. That's all. T.J. Jadakowski and Dave Pasquale.
The improvisationer has to understand that their skill lies in releasing the partner's imagination. Keith Johnstone.
I love improvisation. You can't blame it on the writers. You can't blame it on direction. You can't blame it on the camera guy. It's you. You're on. You got to do it. and you either sink or swim with what you've got. Jonathan Winters.
There's power in looking silly and not caring that you do. Amy Poehler.
If we treat each other as if we are geniuses, poets, and artists, we have a better chance of becoming that on stage. Del Close.
Put your whole self in, just like the hokey pokey. That was the perfect quote to end our collective multi-gen reading on. Thank you all. Improv, just like what you all did together just now and what we've been doing all morning, is about creating something out of nothing, using agreed upon parameters that were set ahead of time. There is spontaneity and playfulness, vulnerability, and bringing your whole self, like the hokey pokey, to your fellow actors. I believe that the requirements of improv, both on an individual and a collective level, also relate to how we are together in this chosen community and how we choose to be in the world. So a little background. In April 2021, I virtually attended the UU Ministers Association Transition Ministers Chapter meeting, and one of the sessions was about improv, and the speaker that she thought, she took this great class, and she was taking classes, and she thought, we need to bring this skill out to ministers, not just because you have to, improv like helps you to think on your feet, but like the rules help you to think about how we are engaged in the world. So I'm bringing some of this information to you. Like most art forms, and you've heard a little bit about it, that there are rules for how we are creating things together. There are some variations on the rules. If you go down the YouTube rabbit hole, you'll find some, variations. But there are a few basic agreements, which I'm going to share with you this morning. All improv actors and communities, they consistently work on leaning into the rules, because what they have, when you see a group of actors who are doing an improv set, like say on Whose Line Is It Anyway, what they have isn't like the set script, but what they have is trust in each other. What they have is the ability to listen, and like what was said, how can I respond and be fully present. So they work on building that skill, because that is a skill to do. When people see an improv show, sometimes the audience thinks that the actors are just making something up, but there is a structure and a form, and you saw a little bit of earlier when our message for all ages, like there's a how we begin, where are we going, and how are we being present. And so I just wanted to share some of these rules. There are 5 of these rules that are we'll be touching on. I'm going to add one more as we come on. So, as we learned in the Message for All Ages, the number 1 rule is always say yes. All right. And then after we say yes, what do we say after that? And. We have a yes, and then we put an and onto it. We build on. We don't negate the scene. Never ever say, no, I am not your grandma, because that doesn't help. Like, how are we contributing? What are we building together? Always make your improv partner look good. You don't say something negative about them or change the thing or whatever. You're building on. Never make a laugh at someone else's expense. That's a pretty good life rule there, don't you think? Improv is always about the team. How are we building together? Relationships are the key to improv. Always respond by carrying the story forward. Make declarations. This deepens the relationship. Declarations more than questions. Let the plot play itself out. The story is here and now, not in the past and not in the future. The past, because even just setting up the sentence kind of creates a little bit of a past, but we don't stay there. We're moving forward. And stay in the present. I'm sorry, but that is just always the biggest, like, how are we being here now? And that is one of our also important skills for when we are together, because so often, just when you're even thinking about listening with people, a lot of times we listen for how we are going to respond instead of how am I going to listen to what this person actually needs? How can I support them? Instead of like, I need to say this, we're staying here. And so remember that I attended this session via Zoom in the second spring of the pandemic. How many springs did we have? I don't know. I kind of lost track after a while. I was serving a congregation in central Illinois, and every Sunday of serving them so far, from the fall of 2020 up until then, had been fully virtual. I was leading services from my apartment in the same city, but we were not anywhere near each other. It was kind of a strange experience, but I'm sure you all had very similar kind of thing. Like, what is space or time anyway? It was very strange. And so during that time, we were all being so self-protective of ourselves, and rightly so, because it was a very scary disease, and we were all like, how can we still be together? We're trying to figure all of that out. And so when folks started asking me about leading the services from inside the sanctuary, this was a building that I had never actually led a service in before pre-pandemic. So I didn't have like an emotional attachment to the space. Just like this, there was no table in front for me to put a computer. Things that none of us had ever imagined before. And so my first answer for a little while was no. I need to work at home where I have my mouse, I have my keyboard, I know how everything is. And but after attending this workshop, I began to really think on, well, how can I say a yes? What would a yes look like? How can I change this around? Because we all have things that we get stuck on, right? Something like somebody may make a suggestion, and our immediate response tends to be, because we're so defensive and we're so protective of ourselves, is no. And I feel that sometimes a lot, particularly growing up, maybe some of the parents or grandparents in the room, maybe that is your first response, and totally understandable. We live in a world where we feel like we need to, what could go wrong? But what if we started from a yes? And not we'll let you do everything, but what is the intent here? What is this person trying to do? How can I meet this need in a different way? And so I started to think on how else could this need be met? And so then I started having virtual office hours inside my office at the church, and it had a banner on the wall behind my computer. And I thought, this is a way that I could do this while still having my own needs met, because truthfully, running the service was me and one other person who was also on Zoom, and so I needed to be able to have my technology in front of me. And so we worked that out, so eventually that became a way that I could meet their needs, I could meet my needs, taking care of my technology pieces, but also supporting what their needs were and being able to say yes. So this tiny little yes helped me to start broadening where are the places where I have said no. Do I really need a no there? Is that an absolute? And is there some way that I could try being a little bit more open?